That's so bad, though. I hate that. That's so upsetting. But completely understood. Want to know? Woo! Yay! I hope everyone can hear the game. It won't matter. Good thing there's subtitles.
Alright, I'm in the stream manager.
Woo! Sweet. Yeah, sure. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Alright, we're starting up soon.
Yeah. Let at least a couple people
Yeah.
in.
No, gosh dang, damn it. Oh, what happened to the video quality? What? Okay, there we go. Fix it. I don't know what happened, y'all, I swear.
Y'all, you say as there were 0 viewers.
I don't care.
Also, was it said with a slight H in the beginning?
Slight H? What?
Y'all?
Y'all.
Y'all. Y'all. Y'all, listen here.
Hey, y'all.
Y'all, listen here.
Hail, Scott here.
Y'all.
Let's see. Oh, I need to put it in here.
Put what in here?
The link in the 2 Discords that are for the channel itself.
Oh yeah, and also, actually, I forgot to mention the reason why my dog was staring like that is just because he'll just have one single rock that he focuses on for the entire day. You can kick any you can like kick any other one over, throw anyone over, but it'll just keep staring at that one.
Are we sure that it's a sheepdog, or does it just have autism?
I actually, if I'm right, they actually have managed to diagnose animals with autism.
That's what I was referencing.
Yeah.
Moon, I found the thing I was wanting to send you.
Yeah. Hey, yo.
If Plushie finds something that they're trying to spend, it's usually that.
Oh.
Alright, 3 minutes in, we got 2 viewers. I'm gonna
Why?
start the
Yeah. Why did cloaks go out of fashion? Actually, cloaks and capes. These are great. I love this.
Cloaks aren't out of fashion. You just shop at the wrong clothing brand. Don't you know Cloak by Markiplier?
That's not what I mean, Dalton.
You mean like that?
That is what you mean. They sell
Oh,
cloaks.
do they? Poganders.
Yeah.
Poganders.
Why do you think they're called Cloak, you fuck?
Because I.
Wait, isn't Cloak made by Jacksepticeye?
Cloak is a collaborative effort between Markiplier and Jackson. It's their clothing brand. They started it together.
Oh, Pog. What?
Anyway.
I didn't.
Intro.
Yeah.
By the way, this podcast is not sponsored by Cloak.
This isn't. This is just free advertisement.
I mean, we would love a sponsorship.
This stream is brought to you
No,
by
it's
Raid
not.
Shadow Legends.
No, it's not. No, it is not.
I'll fire you.
You'll fire.
They do have clothes. I see it.
I told you, you fucking moron.
Like where we find some.
Anyways, we
like
need to
where
get to the
find
intro,
some really
please. I'm
messed
begging.
up. Oh yeah, good point.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Agony of Moon podcast. I am your host, Dalton, and joining me are my cohorts. Yes, we're going back to cohorts. My cohorts for this evening, as always, are Moon.
Hey.
We got a plushie.
Heyo.
We got a necro. And my partner in crime for the last 6 years, don't understand how he deals with me, Trace.
Hello.
This is a podcast where Moon plays a video game while we're live on Twitch. We talk about a certain topic. We probably go off the rails a couple times, and that causes all of us to suffer, or just Moon. We'll find out.
Usually it's mostly me and a little bit of the others. It's fine.
But tonight we have an extra special treat to start off the beginning before we get into the topic itself. So as we all know, recently a sequel to a certain very popular video game movie came out recently. This is the Sonic 2 movie. The movie Sonic 2 came out. It's got Tails and Knuckles and everything in it. It's beautiful, and everybody's raving over it, except like 3 people online who are hating it because they just want to feel different, and that's fine. You know, you have to feel something in your life. But anyway, regardless of that, G Fuel, wanting to jump on the hype train, released a limited edition Sonic flavor for G Fuel. And naturally, they sold it at my local Target, so I picked that shit up. So I have it here. It is the G Fuel Peach Rings flavor, and I'm going to try it and be drinking it for the duration of the stream. So, oh shit, Mazel tov.
Oh, nice.
Or Divosia.
Okay, it's clear. That's a very red flag.
Well, hey, think of it like this. At least it's not yellow.
Fair. All right, bottoms up.
Because then I would have made a Sonic piss juice.
I'm gonna sob. We've already gotten to this. We are not even.
Honestly, it's not bad. It really just tastes like a peach soda.
Yeah?
It's good though. I like peach.
There. I'm starting the game now. We're playing Epistory, a game that none of y'all most likely have seen.
Yeah, we're playing Epistory.
Once
He's playing
upon
Epistory. You
a
know
time,
what? You know what the fuck it is. Anyway,
it was the best of times.
So,
it was the worst
as
of
for
times.
tonight's topic, it is
There
a topic where
was
I will
a
not be the
girl.
one going first this time, because
And
I was
she
not the one who
rode
picked
upon
this
the
stuff.
back of a great fox.
This topic was
But they
picked
were lost.
by my interruptive companion, Plushie,
Hey. Okay.
and Plushie chose this topic, and we were debating over it for a while, and I decided, yeah, this is going to be the topic. So, tonight's topic is the weirdest story you've ever heard. We will each go around giving our accounts of weirdest stories, and if we have multiple, we can do multiple.
Okay.
So, Plushie, start us off.
So I actually had this weird story that I, to this day, do not believe happened to this person, but it is a weird story.
They had
so
always
we continue
been
with
lost.
this. Apparently this one person moved
Until
from,
a path appeared.
so I knew this person
she
that moved
followed.
from, like, some Asian country.
Was the path leading home?
Don't remember which one it was, right? Probably Japan
Or
or
was she
China,
leading
somewhere
it?
there.
She
right?
didn't know.
Moved to the United
It
States.
was just
They were
there.
telling me the story. They were really bad at English. So, I can't be 100% that they told it correctly. But they said
All of a
that
sudden,
they,
she knew where she was.
when they were walking,
She was home.
They were walking. They had this,
The
they
woods had
kept on
sheltered her
finding
as a
things
child.
on the ground. Right? And I was like, okay, it's not odd for, like, here.
The path
It
was
shouldn't be
blocked
odd.
before
And
her.
it's not, I don't think it's odd anywhere. Anyways, and they said they followed the stuff that was on the ground
The path stretched
to this
deeper
person
into the
that
forest.
apparently thought it'd be a good idea
She
to
remembered animals
use
frolicking in the
trees
glades.
to support a car.
She remembered planting flowers.
And to this day, I don't understand how the trees did not snap because they never told me the trees snapped. But my question is, why was there a lot of items on the ground? Including
She felt the woods begin to wake up around
who
her.
had cars strapped in the tree. Anyways,
It's very weird.
That is strange.
yeah, it's not much of an it's not a it's an interesting story, not a weird story, but you know. Anybody else have any?
All right, who's next?
I don't have a story on mine, so someone else go first.
Who? Where? Why? What?
Trace, you had a couple before the podcast began.
Okay, I can't seem to find one of them. So I'll just simply say the headline. Florida man
She
breaks
remembered
into
exploring the
house,
twisted paths.
shaves cat's head, and leaves without stealing
She
anything.
remembered discovering precious stones.
What?
Oh, no. Interesting.
That's
The more she
that is
remembered,
a
the
story,
stronger she
all right.
felt.
Yeah, I can't find in the article. It's all just like
Dangers
reposts
away beyond
of
the
the
forest.
article title
had to
and
be strong
picture of the
before she
cat.
My
leave.
favorite is
Damn.
Florida man wrecks liquor store, blames it on caterpillar.
Um,
Excuse me, what?
You haven't
wait,
heard that one?
did he?
Wait,
No, I
let me get it.
haven't.
I have to get it for you. Hang on.
Oh,
Did they blame it on like a caterpillar, like bug, or did they blame it on a caterpillar construction piece of construction equipment?
Considering Florida,
The
I
bug.
could go either, but I'm leaning toward the
Oh,
bug.
that's so cool.
okay. I actually went on Reddit too, because I remember there was this Ask Reddit thing, right?
Florida man wears fucking.
Where
I remember
Yeah.
this. I remember hearing about this. The hookah smoking caterpillar.
Why does this man?
anyways,
She would have
I
to
have
burn
this
the
story
brambles
that I
before
just
she
got
could
off of
pass
Reddit
through
if
them.
you want to hear it.
All right, I'm down.
When I was 11 years old, I always used to take a shortcut through the local
She
graveyard
remembered
at night.
finding magical things.
When coming
along
back
the
from the
road.
arcade, one night there was a storm and the graveyard was flooding. I fell off my bike and hit my elbow and head, so I took cover under a grave house to check if it was bleeding or something else. It was very dark, but I could see
Sensing
three
a
men
terrible
carrying a bag
wrongness,
and
she
dumping it
looked
in
up.
an open hole, and they produced to cover it. I saw everything.
And fire
When they
fell
left,
from the
I went to
sky.
the grounds place, and told him what I just saw. He told me to calm down and he gave me a Coke Milk and told me to stay there while he went to go check it for himself.
Had a star died?
When he came
The
back,
moon
he looked at me and didn't say a word. He called the police, but when
She didn't know,
when they arrived, I heard
But she
him
wasn't home.
I heard him tell them. Let's say tell them. I said told them. Tell them I was on drugs and that I was lying. I freaked out, so I jumped out the window and over the fence and ran home. They found a decapitated body 3 days later.
Many more.
Dang. I didn't
Okay.
hear most of that because this game's really loud for me specifically. Alright, I just turned you
Well, it
up.
can't be loud for the rest of us. We all have the stream. with
Well,
us.
hush.
Mm.
I do
Okay.
have some interesting stuff.
Chitinous chattering
I
creatures began
found
to
Hey,
this
go
one
for it.
that I want to put in here in case Dalton wants to read that story.
Florida man. All right.
insectile things which sought to hurt her
So,
with their scything claws and gnashing maws.
this is a story.
Helps if I don't piss.
This person. This was back
Should not.
So, basically, there was this person that lived on, like, the end of the road, right?
Hmm.
So, we were in this estate, and at the end of the road in this estate,
She headed towards the source of fire,
the person
because if she didn't,
who lived there had
Who
these
would?
two Siamese cats, which I thought were pretty neat, but never got any closer because the person that lived in this house, me, my siblings, and my friends who lived in this estate, we refer to them as the Madman.
Lovely name.
And basically, there's a few. He's done some fuck shit. I'll get into the worst thing that happened later on. But starting out, what happened was he apparently put like an electrical wire through like a stake and left it on his lawn, so that dogs would bite it and die.
What?
Can he get arrested for that?
I don't know.
Isn't it
the
like a
trees
form
began
of
to give
animal
way to
cruelty?
ash
I'm
and
pretty
charred.
sure it is.
This was where the meteor had struck.
Apparently, one of my
path ended
friends,
here.
like previous
Or
dogs died.
did it
of or
begin?
something. I can't remember if that was the case, but yeah. So we refer to this guy as the Madman because he did shit like that.
I'd
She
refer
found
to him as a
herself
cunt, but that's just
lost in darkness.
There were a few other fuck shit he did, like swearing at one of my older brothers in passing or something. There was a bunch of shit, but After I moved back to the UK where I am now, like a few
Until fire
Like-
roared
like a
behind
year
her.
or so,
The
like a few
meteorite
years
had
in,
buried itself deep. Wicked things crept from its dark.
I
Briar and bramble
the-
blocked her path. Ancient paintings covered the walls, telling the story of another world,
She gives me this account
or
that was
perhaps
given
another
to,
life.
to her by
Loneliness
that
seeped
friend
out
of
of
mine
them.
who still lives in that estate with her parents, which at the time was
look!
best friend for a while
It'll
back.
die if we don't save it.
So
The cavern
What
closed in
happened?
around her, suffocating.
Madman got into an argument with like the person that was like in charge of the estate, like the estate.
Okay.
They came from the darkness, like fear manifest,
Yeah, I'm following. I'm listening.
and
Following.
only fire could save her.
He shot them dead and then held like a few people like that lived in the estate hostage in his home until the SWAT managed to break in.
She saw
after which he
something
shot
across the
himself.
lava, a power which the meteor could not destroy.
Can I ask something?
Yep.
So the UK didn't have guns.
No, this is back in South Africa.
Oh, okay. I was confused about that part.
So yeah, that was interesting.
So that clears things up.
Also, I'm
Something
90% sure the UK has guns, they just do a better
Where
job
the
of controlling them than
loneliness
America
inside
does.
and revealed new paths all around
The
her.
gun laws in the UK are very strict. You won't see many people with guns.
Better than what we have. You can go outside and ask, hey, do you have a gun? They'll be like, yeah, I have a gun outside.
And we wonder why they were the school shooting count. Moving on.
Oh, I know why.
Plushy, we're not getting into
There were
this right
some
now.
times
Yeah.
in school where I wished.
Anyways, I put one in there. I put one I found that if you want to read that one, Dalton, if you don't have one.
I have one, I'm just waiting for mine.
Okay.
I have no stories to tell whatsoever.
We'll be friends now.
Oh, is that the end of Necros?
I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just shot himself once they broke into his, once they managed to get into his house.
Oh, rip. Alright. Okay, so I'm gonna tell a story to end all stories.
Okay.
Because there's absolutely no way that this happened, but I know it happened because the guy himself told me.
The maze
So-
began to crumble before her.
This is the story of how Steve from Blue's Clues went on a date with a Playboy model.
What?
You heard me, bitch.
I am amazed already.
Alright, so back when Steve was working on Blue's Clues, he would always get letters to his office, and they would always deliver them to him. And he would read them a lot because he likes games. And so one day he gets a letter in the mail, and one of them is apparently from this woman. And she's like, oh, I work for Playboy, like I do like calendar shoots, swimsuit modeling, and I really wanted to meet up, like hang out one night, maybe grab some drinks. And he's like, there's no fucking way. Like, this is like an axe murder or something. And he opens up the letter further, and inside the letter is like a big ass like picture of this
Nothing
woman
standing
in a
her way
swimsuit, like to prove that it was actually her. So Steve was friends with the animators on Blues. Like, that's who he was friends with, because that was the nerds and that was his crowd. So all the animators come into his office and see this picture of her and this letter asking him on a date, and he's like, the animators are like, you have to do this, Steve. For us, you have to do that. These were his words. And so he decides to do it. He like gives her a call and is like, hey, you want to still do this? And she's like, yeah. So they plan it out. And so Steve gets all dolled up like he's in a suit. He's got this bouquet of flowers. He's in his car. He's driving over to her house. And he gets there. She is nearly 6 feet tall. And Steve, I think, is like 5'4", I'm pretty sure. So this
Paintings began
woman
to look
towers over him.
familiar to her.
And this part of the story, he specifies her boobs are fake as hell. Like, gigantic and fake.
Why
And
is this a detail
because
we
of
need
their
to know?
It's a detail because it comes up later, but it's also coming up right now minorly. The reason why this is a detail is because of their height difference. Steve is literally eye level with this woman's fake boobs. So that's a thing.
You can date a real life version of Lady Dimitrescu.
No, I swear to fucking God. And so he's like, well, you ready to go? And she's like, yeah. And so on the car, they're driving toward the restaurant. The restaurant's, I think, is like, what, 45 minutes from her house? Or some massive distance from her house. Like, it's gonna take a while to get there. So he's driving, and they get in the car, and she just kind of
Cavern
looks at him
opened
and
up
says,
before her, like a
I thought you
cathedral.
would have been taller. And then Steve goes, I thought I would too. And they drive off, and they're heading toward the restaurant.
Even here,
And Steve is like,
there were
all right,
precious
this
things.
just started off bad.
just waiting to be
But
discovered.
he describes this as like the ghosts of the animators are in the back seat of the car, like watching him. He doesn't screw this up, telling him like to not screw it up. Don't mess this up, Steve. Like, you know, that kind of shit.
And there stood the
And
media's
so he's
heart.
like, all right, what can I do? What can I do? And then he passes. He's getting out of her neighborhood. Like, he's driving out of her neighborhood, and he passes a mailbox that has a blue pop print on it. He passes another one, blue pop print. He gets one final one, and it's very clearly a house where a children's birthday is going. And there's a sign on the mailbox that said, "You just figured out Jonathan." Kid in this woman's neighborhood is having a Blue's Clues themed birthday party. And in Steve's car at the time is a box full of Blue's Clues toys, pictures and handouts, and the outfit.
Like,
So Steve looks at the woman sitting next to him, looks at this Playboy model, and then looks at the mailbox, is just like, do you mind? And she's like, no, yeah, let's do it. And so he stops the car, parks it, gets changed into his Steve clothes, and grabs the box, walks into the backyard where the party is going on. Completely, they did not know he was coming. So he gets into the backyard and is like, hey, where's Jonathan? Happy birthday! And all of the kids freak the fuck out because it's him, obviously. And then they all start rushing over to him, and he like starts handing out the toys and like doing the thing. And then like the woman's, like the mom of the kid's husband is getting like pissed off because it's a dude, he doesn't know. The mom is like, oh my god, and like the Playboy model goes over and explains like who Steve is and like what's going on here. And then Steve explains who he is, and then that happens, and then everything's going great. He's got his momentum back, he changes back into his normal clothes, and they're off at the restaurant. So they get to the restaurant,
Before long,
and
the fire
this is where my memory of the story starts to like
descended,
wane
and her
a
heart
tad,
danced in
because I don't remember what they were talking about at the table. But I remember that Steve at one point gets stressed and starts drinking.
uh-oh.
And I mean
She
drinking.
emerged once more
Ev-
into the light, though the ground would be forever marked.
And so Steve and this woman are talking, and he's getting drunk. And then as he describes it, there's the ghost of the animators in his head, and they're getting drunk too. And it's just... It's like he doesn't know what to do. So it gets to the end of the night. Steve pays for the meal, and then the woman asks if they want to go back to his house. And so they do. And I don't know if most people know this. They probably don't, because who keeps up with this? So Steve, they let him keep a couple things from Blue's Clues when he worked on the show.
To the north stretched
They
the
specifically
forest.
let him keep the chair and the notebook with the first 3 clues inside it. And so, they get into his house, and they start... they see the chair. And she... This is where it gets weird, I promise. If it wasn't weird already, this is where it gets weird. So she's like, "Oh my god, you have the chair!" And then they start taking pictures of the chair and everything. It's just like, they're having fun and
Heady
everything.
smells of pine
And then
moss
she's
drew her
like,
closer.
"Can I show you what I do?" And Steve was like, "Oh." And Steve and the drunk ghosts of the animators are saying yes in unison. So this woman proceeds
And then she
to
saw the
give
shadow
Steve
within.
a lap dance in the chair. In the thinking chair from the show. Swear to fucking God.
That's great.
So
I have my eyebrows raised in amazement.
it gets better.
Oh no.
So it's like things are escalating. It's about to go into a war that area that we're not allowed to talk about by TOS. And then Steve is sitting in the chair and like in his head he's like ridiculing this woman's fake boobs at this point because it's like they're bad. It's the early 2000s. They're bad. But she then oh my god, in the middle of this very heated and very tenuous exchange between the two of them as adults, she leans over to Steve and whispers, "Can you sing the male song?" And this is the point where I both doubt that this happened, but knew that it had to have, because this is too stupid to make up.
This is amazing.
Was she drunk as well?
I think she was. I'm not sure.
I'm hoping
She
she
might
was.
be.
I'm hoping.
She's either drunk or has a fetish for Steve in particular. Either way, it does nothing to explain what's currently going on. So, it's at that point that the night turns sour. And so, I guess after something, Steve takes her home, and of course, her mother is also a huge fan. I don't know how the mother gets involved, but she does. And like, they take pictures with the mom, and then he leaves, and then it's just like, then it just ends after that. I don't remember if the animators were mad at him or not, but there was something about the animators at the end. Anyway, if y'all want to hear Steve tell the full story, go to YouTube and search up the Moth Comedy Club and search up Steve. And I think he called the material Fame-ishness. Fame-ishness. I think that's what it was. So yeah, that is my story to end.
Yeah.
To top every story that we tell and have told because of the podcast.
Yeah, no, that tops literally everything.
I'm looking at Reddit stories. I could try and do one of these.
I mean, you can tell some Reddit stories. I just really wanted to tell that to people because that story is so funny.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this guy named Donald Kamen.
Interesting.
Keeman, not Kamen.
Semen.
Most people don't believe me when I tell them I got stabbed in middle school. But, to be fair, the scar on my stomach looks kind of surgical.
Hi, boss.
This guy had been picking on one of my friends all semester in study hall. When the teacher left and he threw a stapler at my friend, so I stood up. He walked over, punched me in the face, and we started fighting. At one point, he fell against the teacher's chair, grabbed something, and swung at me, hitting me in the stomach. It didn't faze me too badly at the time because my 13-year-old adrenaline was pumping. I got him in a headlock right after that, and ended the fight. Blood everywhere. Apparently, I had grabbed a XACTO knife and sliced
Exacto.
me. Exacto. Thank you. I was like,
So it's
what?
pretty much like a box
Yeah.
cutter.
I know exactly what an exacto knife is. I didn't read it as exacto. And sliced me open a good bit. It was pretty deep. Hurt like fucking hell. As soon as I realized what has happened, I had to go to the hospital. Here's the icing on the cake because the zero tolerance policy in the school, after there was an investigation to find out what happened, it was determined that we were fighting. I was put in ISS for the entire week of middle school for standing up to my friend getting stabbed. I was also grounded by my parents. This guy got stabbed. Alright. Necro, do you have any?
I already told my story.
Do you have any more?
No.
If not, I have this one, but it's a lot of words and I know I'm gonna mess up, so I was somebody else to read it.
I've got some.
I mean, I kind of went out on the first one about a story about like shooting someone dead, kidnapping, not kidnapping, but holding people hostage in the home, the SWAT breaking into the house and then shooting themselves.
That's fair.
So I kind of went out all out in the first one.
So we have this one.
My life is so uninteresting compared to everything else.
I actually remember at one point,
I think if I don't really like most of my stories happen from whenever I was couch hopping, you know, like my crazy stories. So most of them are just like, yeah, that's going to a back time that I don't want to talk about. So, or I would talk about them because there's a lot of good stories. But here we have this one.
one thing that I saw was that a while ago a friend and I were kind of just wandering around to the property, and there was pretty much what had been left behind after a couple of old cars were hauled off for scrap. We kind of kept a few abandoned cars around for whenever the materials sold for a high enough price at the scrapyard. And in the remnants, we actually found a few used needles, along with just some surgical tubing, and strangest of all, a pickle jar with one brown, shriveled up heart.
Oh. This sounds like it came straight out of the Magnus archives, but I know it didn't.
Bye, Moth.
What?
And one thing is that this couldn't have been done out there unless it was under the cover of darkness, because those cars were literally just underneath a tree at the top of a hill. You, Dalton, you know that old chestnut tree.
Yeah.
It was around there.
Really?
Was like a human heart, or
We weren't quite sure.
Probably
I
pig
sincerely
heart.
fucking hope not. Let's make that clear.
I mean, the
I'm
thing
gonna
about it
be 100%
is that
honest. It's probably a pig heart because those
yeah,
are
that's
similar.
what I hope. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping that it was.
If not, good luck.
What if it's that pig that used to come up there all the time and fuck the dogs?
What?
That big pig that used to come around and like mess with the dogs up there?
why are there needles and tubing though?
What?
Needles and tubing with the pig heart. I mean, with
Heroin.
the heart. Yeah, but why with a heart? Why was
Maybe
it?
he left his tools behind. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
Yeah, because my first thought was heroin, because obviously needles and the medical tubing. But then you said there was a fucking heart in a jar.
Yes,
then I was like, what? What if it was used for something else? Like, what the fuck were they doing?
What kind of mad bastard was just out with a jar with a pig heart in it, some needles, and some tubing?
Yeah.
Sounds like a fucking recipe for some ritual.
Or it could have been something weird like, heck, as far as I know, someone could have had a heart transplant and wanted to keep the old one.
Redneck heart transplant.
Yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't doubt it if someone tried to sell their old heart for some heroin.
Bro, an old heart, like a heart that you just got from a transplant, that could go for something. Like,
Well, I mean, no, like the heart that you got took out from, the heart, the heart that was basically defective. I mean, I guess it still could be usable somehow. Although
People like eating organs.
yeah,
yeah,
but it was almost certainly soaking in formaldehyde. But the formaldehyde, well, actually, no, it was a glass jar, so it had to have just been, plopped in there.
Could you imagine if the heart was just pickled? they ate all of the pickles and they wanted something to put the heart in, and they were like, pickling liquid preserves things pretty well, and so they just dunked the heart in the pickling liquid, and that was that.
Yeah.
That's why it shriveled up, because it was in there for so long.
Yeah, like the only way that we could tell was because it had the flaps.
Right.
And
Oh, I see. I completely just didn't see this. I have been wandering around completely lost, not realizing that I've just been dumb.
I was
then there
wondering.
was
The forest was a place of light and peace.
and there was a D&D session that
She
we
barely
had.
recognized it. The forest resisted her.
This Saturday,
Beneath the
last Saturday
darkness,
actually.
shadow and
It
silk.
was a One Piece themed session,
She knew its secret language.
and we were bounty hunters.
The forest
In
opened
it,
to her with heavy
we
heart.
pretty much set sail. Ended up finding kind of like an outcropping of jagged rocks with a whirlpool in the center that a bunch of ships had crashed into, and looted the ships before sailing off and dropping anchor to rest
The
for the
woods
night.
thinned, growing shy.
Then a small band of pirates rolled up. Pretty much rowed on, took a rowboat and rowed onto our ship.
She began to fear the emptiness,
Yeah,
more than she feared
Oh
the
wait, no, for a
shadows.
second I forgot this was D&D for a second. I thought
Yeah.
it was real life. I was like, wait, hold on.
but
It's like those posts on Tumblr where you forget it's one time I dreamt.
yeah, and then what ended up happening was that one of our
Those
one
always get me.
yeah one of the players was was a raccoon up in the crow's nest with a rifle. Actually, if I'm right, it was a modified pistol to basically make it into a rifle. Because, small.
Write our initials in the bark.
And,
Together forever.
and pretty much like, he heard the two talk, or he heard two of them talking to each other. And so he pretty much just hopped up, leaned over the rail, leaned over the side of the crow's nest, and just
Came
domed
from
one
a
of the
nest of
pirates.
darkness.
Like they were gone. Yeah. One of the rest of the crew
She was
started
strong
running up
before them.
to fight them off. And pretty much here's our composition. Here's the composition. We have a raccoon ranger, a giant. I think they're a giant paladin.
And the forest sighed in
A
relief.
fishman barbarian that is a freaking short little stingray with a great hammer, and then me, the long arm bard. I was actually the last to make it up
Why won't
on
you
top
answer
of
me?
the, onto the deck because we were sleeping in the lower levels. So I pretty much missed I pretty much missed the whole fight. But what ended up happening is that the fishman barbarian,
The forest close to
she
her
ran
once more.
up and pretty much just
She didn't understand why.
she caved one of the pirate's skulls in, knocking him off the freaking boat.
Sometimes it
The
tried to guide
raccoon,
her in
huh?
its way.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. The ranger took another shot at the monk, who was actually apparently very good at catching bullets, but failed this time,
The
and it
forest
went straight
yearned
through
for
her
her to
hand
wander
into her
deeper.
head. And then pretty much the paladin came up towards the pirate's barbarian, and he just shit himself and crawled off the boat and tried to swim to safety until the ranger took a shot and blew off one of his legs.
Boy,
And
does this
so-
sound like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Yeah, and so the last guy he just kneels down and drops his daggers. He's given up. He surrenders.
As he
And
should.
so we start interrogating him. For a bit, we're just like, where's your where's the rest of your crew? Where's your captain? And
There was
as it
something
turns
rotten
out,
here.
they actually came onto our ship to steal food. And
The forest was
yeah,
echo of
because they were stuck out in the fog for at least a month, so they were starving. And we just freaking wrecked them. And then the last guy, our barbarian, decided that she was going to take one of the devil fruits that we found and didn't eat.
creeping cobwebs.
Only one
choked
person
her.
had devil fruit powers at this point. And she decided to take out the devil fruit and pretty much force feed it
Sinister
to
shadows spoiled.
the last
It
guy.
needed to be freed.
And if you don't know about devil fruits, is they give
Can't
you
swim.
incredible
She burned
powers,
away the blight.
but you have
forest would
no
learn to love once
motivation
more.
to swim. Or really, pretty much water the seawater basically just stops your powers
We
and
planted the
drains you
seed
of
together.
any
I will
energy and
always love
motivation.
you.
like you pretty much just sink to the bottom because you don't want to swim. And yeah, we pretty much just did that and threw him off the boat.
But you wasted a devil fruit.
Jesus hell.
Yes.
Y'all are evil.
Was it worth using a devil fruit for?
I'd say not.
Couldn't you have just like let them like eat part of the devil fruit and then drown them? Or does that-
I don't know.
I totally did just brute force my way through a puzzle because I didn't feel like doing the rest of it.
Can multiple people eat from one devil fruit?
I'm not sure.
A decent question,
The
honestly.
forest gave to her its
They're all
trust.
pirates, so they all ate it one night.
Well, that's like basically like Dragon Ball saying like you eat one sense. The answer is technically correct, but anime protagonists.
And they were finally
Yeah.
united.
It's like and it's interesting because like it's more of a silly campaign for the time being. I'm kind of playing it a bit seriously.
Yeah.
Although that seriousness did kind of wane after that point because it's like, what? Might as well indulge a little bit, but also at the same time, I do kind of have a desire to not become a pirate because one of our PCs turned out to actually be the son of the Navy. The Navy captain that was on the first island that we came to by happenstance because they just so happened to share a name. Like the captain was already planned out from the beginning, but pretty much like it was just like a one-letter difference. So the GM was just like, yeah, screw it, make him his father.
Correct. They already
Although also actually the first ship that we got, which we subsequently lost because it was a pirate ship
She shunned the
that we
waves of
commandeered.
darkness.
I was actually held captive on there initially because my backstory is that I'm basically just traveling the seas looking for stories to tell. And what ended up happening is that whenever I was finally let out, let out of the brig because the captain decided to take me prisoner, just to sell me off as a slave, because I think Long Arm's fetch.
Each passing shadow.
What was it's like either 10,000 or 1,000 berry. Or yeah. But yeah, and whenever we finally came to, the captain was all that was left. Upon further investigation, we found that he had actually murdered the rest of his crew and stuck them onto the front of his ship. Like he basically just skewered them.
You can't do a ship without a crew.
I don't know why he did it either, but we killed him too quickly. Technically, he killed himself because I knocked him unconscious and he snapped his neck on a barrel, but I still take the credit. Yeah, I literally just freaking uppercut him with a
The dawn,
lute.
of course, finally came. It had never been more beautiful.
As
actually-
one does.
Actually, let me take a look real quick. I think I remember. Yeah, the loot does for the loot. It's literally just 1d6 minus 2 because I have -2 strength. But yeah, the captain. What they decided, what one of them, did, what one of our party decided to do is just stuff him in a barrel and just leave him there. And we ended up traumatizing the people who came to finally collect the body because, we've just got a dead fishman pirate just fermenting in a freaking barrel.
Moon,
Yeah?
you have to hear me out.
Yeah.
All of us get No Man's Sky, and we get the Outlaws update, and we all become the Gokaijers.
Yes.
I have No Man's Sky. I've got No Man's Sky.
I need to get
I
No
also
Man's
need
Sky.
to get No Man's Sky.
I do know that it has
recruit your
improved since.
pilots.
Yeah, I do know that it has improved since.
Oh, it's a completely different game now.
Yeah.
Dalton, are you going to be able to run it? Because it's pretty.
I'm
heavy.
gonna say this. We gonna find out. I will fuck around and I will gladly find it.
Fair enough.
I'll play some Destiny.
I have nothing to say to anyone.
That's fair.
Okay.
Although actually,
No.
it's interesting because the first devil fruit that we got was the sand fruit, I think it's called, and that is that belongs to the giant paladin, the person who is the son of the Navy captain that we met.
I actually do have a story. But it's not a story that happened to me. However, it's a story from a play, and it's about the character that I'm playing. It's essentially just the story of the play, but God, do I regret letting my scene partner choose this. Okay, so the play is called The Goat, or alternatively, Who is Sylvie? Sylvia's the goat, just in case anybody's not keeping. But anyway, a man who is a famous architect who is getting paid to design one of the biggest cities that's going to be in the world, called World City, ironically.
As she looked out
He's
across
turning
the horizon,
50, and he's like going
she
through a
heard the
midlife crisis and all this,
faintest
and he gets interviewed,
rise
and he
to
like
an
can't focus on it
almighty
or
roar
something.
as the angry
And the
sea
reason why he
raced
can't focus
across
is
the
because
land.
apparently, while he was out shopping for houses in the country for he and his wife, he came across a goat. And this goat is named Sylvia, or he named it Sylvia. Either
When all
way,
was still
he came
and
across this
trembling.
goat, and he fell in love with the goat. It gets
Sounds
worse.
like a Greek.
Is this going to be the story of Saint Jerry the
Another
Goat Fucker?
cataclysm had shaken
It
the
is.
Where were these horrors
You're
the
not
answers she
completely
suspected?
Oh,
off.
no.
So he
Water
does
was
fuck the goat.
everywhere.
But,
It changed the landscape, changed
God.
everything.
Okay, can I
The hall did
can
not
I
enter. She would
can
not
I
be
can I
denied.
mention
These
something?
halls of wisdom
Or
still
can I kind of
stood
mention a
firm,
joke
though they had
that I
been
heard
racked
about?
by the waves' fury.
Okay, no. Does anyone mind if I tell a joke about the Welsh?
And rising tide
Okay.
overwhelmed her.
Okay. All right. Did you know that the Welsh discovered that goat intestines make a pretty good condom?
Yep.
The British perfected it by removing the
Water
removing
blocked
the
the path.
intestines out of the goat.
Passage forbidden.
That's a good joke. Really good joke. Anyway,
joke
back
that
to
went-
Martin the goat fucker.
Completely over my head.
I'll explain it to you later. But
Maybe
anyway,
you just simply won't,
So-
actually.
Yeah.
that's probably a good idea.
It involved it has something to do with Saint Jerry.
I'm not.
More than goats.
I can't do this.
You know, more,
So
more
in
than
this
just
play-
I
goats.
just can't.
In this play,
Water changed her
so
path.
yeah, he does it with the goat, and like, he tells his best friend Ross about it, because it's always a guy named Ross, isn't it? So, he tells Ross about this whole endeavor that he's had. And, I can't
ways
keep
that
looking straight
frightened her.
face. And so Ross, feeling guilty that he knows this information, decides to write a letter to Martin's wife, Stevie, to tell her about his recent endeavors. And so she finds out about it, and she confronts him about it, naturally. And they have this big argument, which is the scene that I'm currently reading for my acting class. I'm playing Martin. I've been Alex. This is a bad time
Hi,
to come
Alex.
in, Alex.
Well, welcome in.
Welcome
Hi,
in. We're talking about a play where somebody fucks the goat.
Yeah. So,
I have the feeling that I'm.
so this whole argument goes on, and he says he's gone to a therapy group. That it's basically a therapy place that specializes in people who have done that sort of shit.
That's valid, Alex. Being honest was fine.
So what happened is they have this argument, and it ends after a while, and then their son, because did I mention they have a kid? Their son, Billy, comes in and hears them arguing, and the wife storms off because she's pissed off because this is like ruining her home and all of this. And granted, yeah, but more than that,
Ooh, that's. Ugh.
more than that, so the wife goes away, and so a big plot point throughout the play for some reason is that the son is gay, and other people don't like him being gay. The dad's fine.
The more she learned, the less she knew.
So
Dad fucked a goat, didn't he?
yeah, the dad fucked the goat, but it gets worse. It somehow gets worse.
The fact it gets worse is
Trapped,
amazing.
frightened, she ran.
But wait, there's more.
It's literally, but wait, there's more. So the dad and the son start talking on the couch,
I don't know.
and they're
who I
talking
am
about like
anymore.
what's happening and everything. And
Mountains rose around her, looming, mocking,
trigger
taunting.
warning, there's gonna be some Alabama talk.
Oh,
A light
Kinda
shone
guessed
ahead,
that
a light
automatically.
of power.
There's a conversation between them, and then the son declares love for the dad
As it cast her shadow,
and kisses.
it soothed her, calmed a sense
And let me be clear, the dad does not consent.
Okay.
The dad hates this entire thing. But they go through this, and like he's like, "Oh, we'll get you help. We'll get us both help." And then it's this whole fucking situation. And then the play ends. Literally, this is the end of the play. After all of this shit with the son has happened, the end of the play is the woman comes in carrying the slaughtered corpse of the goats.
The rising swell.
And that's the end of the play. The dad has a mental breakdown.
The river
Kurt.
need not run so fast, and she need not be carried with it.
Whoops, the person I fucked is dead. Well, time to have a mental breakdown.
Person. You use that very loosely. I mean, so does he, but that's besides the point.
She dealt with the barriers one at a time.
Yeah, so that's been my life for the past 3 days.
Sounds like
I had to read that.
New
Great job,
challenges
guys.
approached her.
Definitely made
I want to know who wrote this play.
I do not.
No, and you know what's bad? I have to act that play, and I have to
Claws
keep it
bared
straight.
and eyes hungry.
I have to play the guy who's defending the fact that he fucked a goat, and I have to keep a straight face.
That sounds difficult.
It is. Like, I somehow manage it, but at the same time, God, I die laughing every time afterward. Because how do you act something like this? How do you write something like this? But yes,
Was the night? What's that here?
this is like modern day. Like, at least some strain of modern day.
So it was modern. It wasn't like I was kidding. It was older. No, it's modern.
I had to write a backstory for the guy, and I'm saying that he was raised Mormon.
But she would not be overwhelmed.
Is that a random jab at the Mormons? Yes. Do they deserve it? Also.
Oh boy.
But anyway, that was my other weird story.
Great.
We went from childhood icon does it with a Playboy model to guy who fucks goats, and I don't know how
The
we
voice
got
crack was perfect.
here. My voice is cracking because I've been
I
laughing
know.
so much. How did we get here? Do you have 90 minutes? Speaking of which, I need to see if Ethan, if his tour has already come to New York, because I want to see if I can get tickets.
Yeah, isn't it his tour name, like I don't want to be here or something?
No, it's I have to do this tour.
Does he have to actually do this tour?
No, it's just what he named it.
Okay. Making sure.
He did already go to New York.
You miss it?
Yep.
Is it going
When
to
did
Texas?
he?
Is it gonna come back to Texas?
No, he never went to New York. The fuck? Ethan! The shit, dog.
Where's Ethan?
Ethan.
Craig
Yeah.
Gameplay. He's going to Dallas, Houston, and Austin in May.
going.
So now all three of the big lads have had tours. Because we've had Markiplier with the You're Welcome tour. We've had Jacksepticeye with the How Did We Get Here Comedy Live World Show tour. Or whatever the fuck it was. And now we have Ethan with the I Have to Do This tour.
That's a long named tour.
What was it? It was the Jacksepticeye How Did We Get Here Live Show Comedy World. That's what it was.
I just called it the tour of the long name.
It was. That's what it's from. That's what I said. That's what I said was from. It's like, how did we get here? Do you have 90 minutes? That's what.
I'm seeing new upgrades I can get. So I'll get all of them. I'll get ice.
Anyway, does anybody have any stories?
I don't.
Or we have stories.
It's funny for that.
Oh, we're only an hour in.
This isn't more of a. This isn't more of a story. This is more of a tangent. So Trace knows I used to be obsessed with this game called Fable 2, specifically 2.
Mm-hmm.
I had the sequel. I never bought the original game. I got Fable 3 afterward. Never got the original game. The original game's up on Steam though, so I might grab it. So, in the Fable 2, it's a choice-based RPG, right?
Yeah.
But there's a very cool magic system. The magic in this world is called Will. Not Smith, but you know what I mean.
Ugh, that was.
I smack people in different ways with this magic.
You're only making this
And
worse.
Trace remembers I was the most exploity bastard when it came to this magic. So what happened was there were 3 spells that I tended to use.
What games?
There was the Chaos spell, which essentially put enemies in like a confused state where they would just like attack everybody. There was the Time Control spell, which either slowed down time or allowed you to teleport behind or in front of an enemy. And there was the Shock spell. Self-explanatory.
Yeah.
What I would do is I would charge up a Shock spell, throw it at about 3 of them, throw a Chaos spell onto one, and then use Time Control to slow down time, and then kill all 3 of them, and then kill the Chaos.
That's funny.
I was a bastard with that magic system, but it is genuinely one of the most fun magic systems I've ever had in a game.
Ooh.
Fable 3's version of Will did not stack up.
I will be right back. I have to go to the bathroom.
And Trace and I played Fable 3 to completion.
I think so.
We did one route. We went to the end of the game and we had the 2 options of like being a good king but not having a lot of defenses, or being a terrible king but having a lot of defenses. And we managed to minimize casualties to like 15.
Yeah.
We were the good king in the end.
Yay.
Mm.
If anyone
The
wants to
the combat in Fable 3 was better. The magic was worse.
If anyone wants to read the one that I put in there.
Oh yeah, I'll read the first one.
Okay.
I'm gonna do dramatic reading. I don't tell this story because it's a little too strange, like a glitch in the Matrix. I am a skeptic by nature, by the way, and I do think this is a big coincidence. But it's just odd as hell. So one day I'm at home and I get a phone call. On the other end is a young woman, and someone called her from this number. She said someone called her from this number and said they had her cat. Well, I told her she must have the wrong number because I certainly didn't call her and have anyone's cat. So that was it, and she hung up. About 10 minutes later, I go to get my mail. I'm on the first floor. Leaving my apartment door open, and as soon as I open the door to the vestibule where the mailboxes are, buddy, just say to where the mailboxes are. Don't put fucking big words at me. Fuck you. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of purple prose. Oh, that's
In
a headshot.
sprints a black and white cat into my apartment. I go back into my apartment, and there's this cat sitting, perching on the arm of my couch, staring at me. I'm kind of surprised at this point. I mean, I just told someone I didn't have any random cats in my apartment, and suddenly there's one on my couch. Anyway, so I notice the cat has a tag on its collar. Hi, my name is Skittles, not real name. If I'm lost, call this number. So I call the number. It's the young woman who just called me 10 minutes ago. This is going to sound weird, I said, but now I have your cat. Well, she came over, looked at me very suspiciously, and thanked me and left. I have no explanation for this. I accept it's a coincidence, but it's a hell of a coincidence. That is a very weird story, I'll give him that.
Necro, you want to read the second one?
Okay.
I knew I would stumble over the words.
This sounds like a Necro story.
Okay, in
Yeah.
that case, I have to read it if you put it like that. Jeez. Alright, I work security at double lockdown. Inpatient pediatric hospital. Several units that specialize in both chemical dependence and mental health disorders. My unit is the stabilization unit, US, so if you're really off your rocker, or you feel like getting violent, you come visit me. We get a call for a possibly violent patient, and I go check it out. It's a very tall, very shady young girl, wearing what can only charitably be described as rags.
What's going on?
Her hair is unkempt, and clearly
Necro, what are you doing?
steamed from shampoo.
Reading.
He's reading the story.
What story?
You can
There's one in
The
the
story that put
Oh,
sense
I
in
see.
chat.
And
Great, I
she
can
is
hear you.
covered from head to toe in filth that I'm praying is not her own. She's in rough shape, clearly sick, and needs some help. She doesn't respond to any verbal questions or commands, but we can lead her around pretty easily. I'm starting to wonder why they called me up. They tell me to put her on the US, and a couple nurses are going to clean her up immediately. Put her in scrubs and get her sorted out. Right her into the shower, and patient starts. Wait, I lost my place in a sec. Patient starts screaming. Then the nurses start screaming. Then everyone starts screaming. This poor young woman is covered in what are clearly human bite marks. Everyone is freaking the fuck out. The patient didn't want to be undressed and was lashing out wildly, so she had to be put in 4-point restraints, wrist and ankle tied to the bed. All the staff are in various stages of shock, crying, praying, wounding of guards, etc. Some had clearly been keeping this young, mentally ill girl captive and abusing her for quite some time. The bites are across her torso and appendages, and there are both new and old ones. The nursing supervisor immediately calls the cops, and we just stand around staring blankly at each other, thinking about how fucked up people are to each other, and the evil in this world. One of the nurse, who had been in psych nursing longer than I have been alive, suddenly yells, "You gotta be fucking kidding me." The patient had craned her neck over and sunk her teeth into the meat of her upper arm, blood oozing from between her lips. We had to put a spit shield over her face to stop her from trying. All the bites were self-inflicted. She was able to contort herself in ways that I didn't think possible. I still think about her a lot, and I don't think yoga is as sexy anymore.
Alexa.
Well, that was a story.
was a
Or
story.
what?
That was indeed a story.
Story indeed. Alright, while you were talking, I made this. I sent it to you.
Don't mind the fact that it says I'm on B&B. I am getting something set up. I got bored of Epistory, so I'm playing Don't Starve.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
start.
Specifically, don't.
Similarly structured game. Just a survival instead of a narrative.
No, does it not see my game?
It says don't starve together.
No, I'm talking about OBS.
I don't know about OBS, but Twitch does.
Oh no, I know Twitch does. It should. I desperately hope my computer does not crash while I'm making this. Or like getting this set up.
Anyways,
Just one looking, I can see everything. Oh, helping me out. Never know again.
Mama,
That's you.
how you
Helping me
like
Are you singing
Listen.
Mamma Mia? I refuse to
No,
listen.
listen. Okay, this is Lexi's fault. Blame Lexi.
Why is it
Because
Lexi's
Lexi
fault?
introduced me
Was
to
she
the song.
Was she listening to the Mamma Mia musical album?
No, from... What? Is it musical?
You didn't know that there's a musical?
I sure didn't. I only know it because Lexi was like, character song, and I was like, yeah. Hey, yo.
Yeah, they were... Yes, there is a musical based on ABBA songs, and it is called Mamma Mia.
Oh, because I'm listening to the original song.
Ah.
It's so, like, positive energy sounding, but you listen to the lyrics, and it's incredibly sad.
I think that's most songs
Wait.
recently,
Well,
honestly.
yeah, honestly. Sounds about right.
Dick Fight Island.
What?
Excuse
What?
me? Apparently there's a manga known as Dick Fight Island.
Amazing. Papa Goose.
Later, Goose.
It's been ages since I've spoken to Goose, but bye-bye, Goose. I'm going to play Wormwood. Maybe I might. Who am I gonna play? I could play Wormwood. He's my funny plant boy.
Dalton,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this in the darn chat. One sec. You to any of us.
Yeah. It's also all of us with Buddy.
Fuck Buddy. Listen here. Fuck Buddy. Not fuck Buddy. That's not what I meant. I mean,
It's a little late for that one, Dalton.
that's not what I meant. Whatever.
Guys, okay, in the chat, tell me who I'm gonna play. I don't know who I'm gonna play. I don't know.
I think you should play Cute Little Man's in the bottom, like the very
Oh,
bottom
Walter?
right, the one that's not red.
Yeah,
Walter.
I can play Walter. I'll play Walter. I don't have any cool looks for
What about
Walter. Wrong Walter, plushie.
I mean, give this one vitiligo and it could be
It
right,
could be.
Walter.
I like thinking about Wormwood. He's baby as well. I have fun clothes for Wormwood.
Which one's Walter?
This
Which
one.
one's Walter? Can you cover over it? Okay, you just sit down, just wait and look.
Odds of survival slim. Rest in peace.
Oh, yeah, that.
Oh,
that
I want to look
seems-
at all the odds of survival. Okay, so for Wilson it is slim. For Willow it is slim. For Wolfgang it is grim. Wendy is slim. WX is slim. Wigfred is slim. Maxwell is grim. Wes is none.
Okay, I have another story. If you
Okay,
want to
Woody
read
is
it.
slim. Wickerbottom's grim. Weber is grim. Winona is slim. Warley is grim. I almost said gnarly. That would have been really funny. Wartox is grim. Wormwood is grim. Wirt is slim. Walter is slim. And Wanda is slim. I really like that Wes just has
Anyways, I
no
couldn't-
chances.
You know what? You know what? Let's try this out.
Oh my god, wait, I just remembered. Did y'all
Big
hear
Rich.
recently? Did y'all hear recently that apparently, like, they basically made piracy, like, legal for Russian ships?
Like, we can attack Russian ships? What?
No, like, apparently, like, I think it was either, like, any Russian vehicle or, like, a Russian, like, thing or whatever, but it's like, they basically, like, gave... They basically gave people, like, permission to take control of those vehicles and, like, get the supplies from them and everything. I was like, they basically just made being a pirate legal again.
Yarhar! Give me your fucking toes!
I just remember because everybody was talking about it for a while, and I was like, man,
Alright.
they gave that power to the wrong generation,
Yeah,
huh?
honestly. I love a wormwood heart emoji.
Little wormwood.
Wormwood's baby.
Mamma
Whom's
mia.
Can I
to do?
tell you?
Who are you?
I didn't know Walter was such a common name whenever I darn made Walter as a character. And so now every time somebody says Walter, I'm like, oh yeah, it has to be that character. It can't be anything else, guys, right?
Plessy, you're on drugs.
Yeah, I'm surprised you just now noticed.
Speaking of drugs, tomorrow,
Tomorrow, what?
tomorrow is the day of drugs. It is 420 tomorrow.
Expensive.
Nice.
Everybody partake responsibly. Don't be like me and take granola bars with THC tincture and then wander around Times Square for. Don't do that. You might get mugged.
Also don't.
Or you might not, and just have some sketchy teenagers offer you joints. Don't buy them.
Okay, I'm not gonna hear about her. Dalton, can we tell them about the funny story?
About
Oh,
what funny story?
the one with the gift horse? That one.
Oh my god. Okay. Let me be entirely clear.
That was so
I
funny.
don't remember this happening.
Oh, it was so funny
I
though.
remember. I do remember the context of it, but I don't remember saying it. These guys told me that I said it.
You were the one who put it in
So,
quotes
You
too.
quoted yourself. You quoted yourself on
I
it to make
quoted
sure you didn't
myself,
forget.
but you guys were the ones who drew my attention to it.
We had to.
I would never have checked that channel if one of you didn't say it.
What is that?
But besides this being the point,
Oh,
So-
I see.
I got high.
Very.
My friend had this tincture that had THC in it, and I had her put it on some granola bars that I had in my bag, and I ate them. And it wasn't much at first. Like, I was just kind of a little loose, little nice. Flirted with a guy in the elevator. Still regret that. anyway,
you said he seemed hot.
he did. He was hot. Listen, I didn't say I regretted flirting with him. I said I regretted it being awkward. But anyway, so I was in here just chilling, and I remember at some point during the conversation, this is where my memory starts getting spotty. Because I remember being on the VC with Necro, Moon, right before I went out and I had my Times Square adventure. But I remember I got there and Moon was being like all cute and shit toward Necro, and Necro was calling Moon cute or something.
Oh,
or
it was
another.
definitely that, yeah.
And Moon was like rejecting the compliments, and I, evidenced by the quote in the quotes channel and by what these guys said to me, I evidently got outraged at Moon rejecting the compliments and proceeded to utter the phrase, "If I had an attractive British man calling me cute all the time, I wouldn't bite a gift horse in the dick."
What?
Those were the words that I said.
And those are the exact words that were put in the quotes channel, too.
Yep.
I put that in the quote channel because I apparently started laughing at it.
Oh,
And
we
then
all
the
started
next
laughing.
day, I didn't remember anything about last night, and they told me to check the quotes channel, and I had a stroke. Because I didn't remember saying it at all. I was that fun.
Well, you didn't bite the gift horse in the dick, apparently.
I didn't. I bit no gift horsing dicks today. That is for certain. Don't bite a gift horse in the dick. That's my new phrase. I really want to know why I said that.
You were probably just like, Moon, you were taking it for granted. I'm angry.
That's probably what it was. God damn.
At first, I genuinely did not question. I thought it was just another saying, like an
Oh.
actual saying.
No, it's really the fact that it's just that close to the actual saying that you wouldn't question it unless you were paying attention.
Wait, what is that? The actual saying? Wait.
The actual saying is don't look a gift horse in the mouth. That's what the actual saying. And I said don't bite a gift horse in the dick. That's
You were pretty close.
I thought the original one was don't bite a gift horse in the ass.
no, it's not even close to that.
That's amazing.
That's why I have to ask things, because I don't know, ever.
Yeah, no.
Eating a fistful of berries.
Berries.
Bars. Can we talk about Greek mythology and Zeus's obsession with turning into horses and fucking?
Oh boy.
Yeah? Go ahead?
I'm sorry. Because, like, how many? Hold on, I have to see. How many times has Zeus turned into a horse? Zeus's transformations and lovers. This is what I need.
Well, hey, you know what they say? There's no cock like horse cock.
What the fuck?
Not wrong, I guess.
I remember that there's an entire song for that.
Wait,
I am
the
not
king
kidding.
was used to getting what he wanted, and he wanted a lot of women, so he transformed himself or them in order to do it with them or seduce them or abduct them or just be with them. Here are his most famous transformations. So, he transformed into another god. Persephone was seduced by Zeus when he took the shape of Hades. Callisto was
Hades
seduced by
really
Zeus in the
upset by
form of
that.
Artemis. In anger, Artemis transformed Callisto into a bear, and she bore a son, Arcus. She was hunted down, but after her death, transformed into the constellation Ursa Major. Boy, that is an astrology fact I didn't need to know today. Antiope was seduced by Zeus in the shape of a satyr. Interesting. Uh, Mnemosyne, the goddess of memory, was seduced by Zeus in the guise of a shepherd. Take a shot every time I say the word seduced by Zeus.
I can hear a beret.
To be dead.
Zeus also likes to take the form of absent husbands in order to do it with married women.
Oh no.
Oh, that's
That
terrible.
one was very common.
Zeus transformed into an ant to make himself as small as possible in order to have sex with Eurymidosa, a princess in northern Greece.
What the fuck?
Why did
And
he stop?
the son that was the cause of this was the race of warriors that Achilles commanded in the Iliad.
Huh.
The more you fucking know, I guess. The first time that Zeus seduced Persephone, he did so in the form of a serpentine
Oh,
dragon.
I forgot I can't harm plants. It's bad for my brain cell.
A bull. We don't need this one.
Why is that such fucked shit?
Zeus is a fuck. That's all I'm getting. God, what was the one that became a horse, though? There was what? Was it Poseidon? Poseidon Horsemith.
There's
He fell in love with the goddess Demeter, decided to create the world's most beautiful animal, produced the horse. However, it took so long to make the horse that he was no longer in love with Demeter. There was a Greek god that shapeshifted into a horse to do it with somebody. This I know.
Who's the god that
You might,
shifted
you
the-
might actually be thinking of a story from Norse mythology where, yeah, Loki turned into a horse to distract this one fucking horse, and
There's-
some stuff happened.
I strictly remember it was a Greek god turning into a horse and then doing it with somebody. I just don't know the name of the god. It was either Zeus or Poseidon.
Search up which god turned into a horse to fuck somebody and you'll find it.
Greek god turn into horse. That's not the one. It's not the one.
I love my little planty babies.
It was Poseidon. Demeter turned herself into a mare, and then he became a stallion. So they were both horses.
Why were they both horses?
Because she turned into a horse to hide from Poseidon. Poseidon found her out, then turned into a horse and captured.
Oops, all horses.
Sounds about right.
Wait, Trace. That, you say Jerry. What was that pope that liked to watch horses?
I don't know.
Okay, for those who don't know, if you look up Salmonella Academy on YouTube and you go to the video that he does about popes, there's one of them who literally in his courtyard liked to introduce stallions to mares in heat, and that just entertained him to no extent watching them do it right in front of him.
And it wasn't, if I'm right, it wasn't like any kind of pleasure that he got out of it, or at least, he didn't get any, like, he just liked to laugh at it. He just found it funny.
Uh-oh.
From
He
right.
just died laughing at this shit. It wasn't even just.
Uh-oh. I am in danger.
Watch them.
Yeah. Right in his courtyard, right outside the Vatican, he watched them.
Sounds about right. The popes are kind of weird, let's be honest.
Oh no, you see the popes. What was the other one?
Yay, help. Hello, Finch!
Hey, Finn,
I'm playing some Don't Starve.
what was the
Because
one?
I am a wizard.
What was the one after Formosus? The one that hated Formosus so much that he had his. Okay, so after Pope Formosus, I don't remember the guy's name, but it was the one after Formosus. You can look it up probably. He hated Pope Formosus so much that they had his dead body taken out of its casket and brought into the court, and they posed a trial where he basically it was a mock trial where they weekend at Bernie's the fucking Pope's body and like had him like mock respond, and like they basically uncanonized everything that he did as Pope and then threw his body into the river. And then apparently the body was reported to be performing miracles down by the river where they ditched him. And so the guy gets up off the throne. A new pope was reinstated, and Formosus was returned back to the Vatican, where his body now rests to this day. But like,
It's amazing, actually.
God, the stories about popes could go on forever.
And then there was the guy. And then there was the story about
what?
the guy who blew himself up with dynamite. and then the freaking like coroner decided to just use him as an attraction.
Oh, I remember. Okay, so this guy.
Like stick a coin in the dead guy's mouth.
Okay, no, because this story is so fun. So this is like dead body hijinks. That's the video that I'm talking about, the Salmonella video. It's dead body hijinks. So this guy, I don't remember what his name was, but he was a robber. He was like a crook back in the old days.
He was a train robber.
Yeah, he and his gang like to rob trains. This guy though, he took any single chance to use nitroglyceride and ran with it.
Yeah.
So
like at one point they got a train and the safe was sealed. They couldn't open it. So they decided to blow it up. But he used so much that it literally melted most of them. It burned most of the money, and most of the coins were either just pretty much just a silver puddle.
Welcome back, Alex.
Or or pretty much they were just melted to the bottom of the safe, and they had to pry it off.
And so when the guy finally dies, he doesn't have any next of kin on the count of that he was a criminal. And so the coroner of the place just decides to use his dead body as an attraction. And he's like, hey, you want to see the dead criminal? Just stick a nickel in his mouth and you'll get to do all you want. And so he collects the coins at the end of the day. And then so something happens to the body after that. And it's, oh no, that's right. These two guys come up and they're like, hey, we're his brothers. Can we have the body to where we can give him a proper burial? And he's like, well, here you go. And so they get the body, but they're not his brothers at all.
They're just carnies.
They're fucking carnies. And so they have the body like stuffed, and they like use wax and everything to like make it better, and they use it in the traveling show. And like then the body gets left somewhere again and eventually found and like put in like a wax museum. And then it changes hands a couple more times, and finally it ends up as a prop of a hanged man in a horror ride at a theme park.
Yeah, because after a while they were just like, it's just another wax sculpture.
That's amazing.
So uh, while they're doing maintenance on the ride one time, they get the body and the arm falls off. And they look inside and they're like, hey, that kind of looks like actual human organs. And then they realize what it is. And then the body finally gets fucking buried, but it's taken them like, what was the number? Like 66 years after the man actually died for them to figure out that he was like an actual corpse and not a fucking wax figure.
That's amazing.
They're probably like, wow, this wax figure is really realistic, guys.
Oh no, if I'm right, it didn't even look good anymore.
Oh.
Like he was a mummy.
Yeah, it was bad at this point. God, what's the thing I'm thinking of?
Happy.
Fuck, I know what I'm talking
Aw.
about. I just gotta find words.
Needs food. Who are you?
Why is there a crow?
Why aren't there crows? What do you mean? I can't get any of these.
There's a
I
crow
can get,
around.
no, I can't get that one. I can't get literally any of those.
A carnival.
Yep.
Someone actually joined and I actually entertained someone. Hey, good job, Alex.
Yeah! Heck yeah!
God, I'm trying to remember what I'm thinking of.
Time to launch myself into someone else's ship by a freaking cannon.
Are you playing Sea of Thieves?
No.
Not this time.
That's the
Destiny.
first thing I asked. I heard launch myself into someone's ship by a cannon, and I was like, I'm playing Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I'm using a Cabal cannon to launch myself on the ship of the Witch Queen.
Alright.
I need a watering can so I can start taking care of my plant friends. So I can start taking care of my besties.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Okay, so guys, I made a TikTok recently because it was after Easter and I really wanted to like gauge whether or not my audience truly knew me. And so I have to ask you guys a question. So like this is a story mixed with a question. So when I was a kid, me and Trace went to the same church growing up, most of the time. And this church, the way that it was set up is like you had the pews, you had the stage, the pulpit area, and then behind it, you had this little like tank, like this little tub with a cross over it, and this tub is where they did the baptism. And I witnessed very few baptisms at that church, surprisingly. And I saw it like at literally every other church I went. Duh, my family was Baptist. So, I've always, ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to go back there and like do some like hot tub shenanigans in the baptismal font. And I wanted to know if anybody else has ever felt that because God, do I want
It
to.
looks like it would be so much fun though, honestly.
The water is actually really difficult to warm up.
Oh, I
Like,
know, like
you-
not literal hot tub, but just like chill in there, like you know.
Yeah.
just-
How do I? Oh,
Wait, why is the water difficult to warm up? What did they do to the water?
Why is it difficult to warm up? I want to know.
It's really just because if I'm right, they pretty much, I don't know. What they end up having to do is that they just kind of, rather than waiting for the water to warm up, they basically just stick a heating rod in there.
huh? I have never once seen that
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
I think I did see that happen once. I think it was Wasn't it before your baptism that they did that?
Maybe.
Because I remember them setting up, and there was like, they stuck something in there before you went in, and I was like insanely sus. I was like, hold on. I remember something along those lines now that you mention it, but anyway. No, yeah, I've always wanted to do that though. Just like go back there while there's water in it and just like fuck around.
Baby.
Not literally fuck around, but like fuck.
How do I... Why can I not water these plants?
What?
It's a plant.
Oh well, that's
I don't know
dumb.
how to water these plants. I have a watering can and I have water in it. Why can't I water the plants?
And you have plants.
Yeah, I've got plants to water. Too many brothers around. What?
This is very
Needs food.
too many
Happy.
brothers. Oh, are they not? Did you space them too close
Maybe.
together?
Thirsty.
Probably what it is.
Get water.
Get water, bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. What do you want? Hello, friend. Is there...
Anyways, how is everybody doing?
I'm doing pretty alright, honestly.
Fair enough.
Moon.
What is it? I don't have it.
The your mom jokes are only funny when I do.
That's false. It
Is it?
is false. Yeah.
Is it? You've made one funny your mom joke.
Exactly. Still a funny your mom joke that I made.
What's the fucking... God, I'm basically looking for stories now because I
Many
wanna...
brothers around. What do
Oh
you
my god!
happy?
The fucking... The
This is
Banana
shit.
Republics.
Thirsty.
Oh
Let
yeah.
me water it then.
The Banana Republic! Oh, y'all gotta hear this one. This one's funny. So, basically a long time ago, the bananas coming out of South America were done by 3 big companies. These companies were Cuyamel, United Fruit, and Vaccaro Bros. Or Standard Fruit and Vaccaro Bros, not United, my bad. So, they were basically the biggest 3 banana companies, and what they would do is that they'd one, buy little companies, but also like get more land and do more things, and eventually their only competition was each other. So they essentially had like a banana monopoly, and were building the what was it? They were building the infrastructure of the country around them to where they could get better profits.
Yeah.
They had that power over it. They weren't like dictators per se, but they were like the main suppliers of anything close to technological advancement for these countries at the time.
Yeah, because the government just pretty much could barely stand on its own 2 feet. From right, wherever that was later on.
It was both then and here. So they decided to basically like build everything for the government as long as the government gave them tax breaks and all that. And basically it was the only thing close to infrastructure that the place had, so it was like, all right. So they eventually started competing with each other, but then Mexico got a new president, I think it was. Like a democratic revolution happened and they got a new president. And this president did not like the banana company, specifically Cuyamel. And so he started enforcing things like a minimum wage and basically other things to like keep them all in check. And he didn't like this. So what did he do? He went to the good old US of A.
Oh boy.
He went he went to President Dwight D. Eisenhower, president at the time, and he was like, "Hey Eisenhower, these guys, they're forcing us to give our land to the people, and like they're like collectivizing all of our stuff." And he's like, "Oh no." And basically tricked Dwight Eisenhower into thinking that the current president of it was Honduras. It wasn't Mexico, it was Honduras. The current president of Honduras was a communist because that was during the Red Scare. And so with the help of America, they basically staged a coup against the guy. They staged a coup against the guy and took over the country, installed their new leader, and then they could do whatever they want. And so then eventually the two companies, I think it was Standard Fruit and Cuyamel. No, Standard Fruit changed itself to Dole, I believe.
No, if right, that was yes. Standard Fruit, yes. And actually, one of the
Standard
CEOs
Fruit became,
actually,
yeah. So
yeah, and actually one of the
Cuyamel shut down his company and then somehow became the head of the Standard Fruit, and then Vaccaro Bros became Dole Food Company.
yeah, and one of them became Chiquita Banana.
Yeah, they became
also
Chiquita Banana.
And also, one of the CEOs actually threw himself out of the window whenever he was appointed to CEO.
Yeah,
because of the history.
That was crazy. No, I just realized he apologizes when he chops down the trees.
I have chopped down the trees though, but it makes me feel bad every time. There we go again.
Here we go again.
Hush. You're not allowed to sing along.
Oh wait, did I ever tell you guys the story of how 50 Shades of Grey exists?
You might have, but I don't remember.
Maybe.
Tell us again.
Have I okay, I'll tell you guys again, but this is very good. Okay, so this is a pipeline that all starts with 9/11.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
I'm still gonna say it, but like, there's a pipeline that starts with 9/11. So 9/11 happened. It's a big worldwide tragedy, and everything is bad. America goes to war, and it's awful. This bad feeling inspires one Gerard Way to form the band My Chemical Romance, whose music inspired one Stephanie Meyer to write the Twilight series, which then inspires fanfiction of the Twilight series, which then would go on to inspire 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh boy.
9/11 caused 50 Shades of Grey to happen.
That's amazing. Where is Annie Grass? I'm not gonna live without it. I'm just going to straight up die when night time comes.
What's that meme where it was like they were talking about how Sonic would no longer be racked with guilt over 9/11? Instead, he would be fully aware that he could have stopped 9/11, just chose not to. In the Sonic movies. Anyway. I mentioned that about the Muppets too, right? The other things?
Yeah.
Okay. What Muppets It's a Wonderful World? That's a good one as well.
Wormwood running around
Well,
with Max is great.
I'm really genuinely trying to think of other stories.
I don't worry. We
I have,
end
will
in
say-
10
I have
minutes.
a lot of Reddit ones.
So, I do want to ask, though. This has nothing to do with the topic or literally anything. But, when y'all make sandwiches, Necro, stay out of this. When y'all make,
Stay out of it.
do y'all toast your bread?
I don't make
Yes.
sandwiches.
Yes.
Whenever I make a bologna sandwich, I usually make Texas toast.
I don't like
Ooh, Grace
sandwiches,
on a
but
fucking different level.
But when I do,
Yeah.
I normally try and make it the best I can because I can't eat it otherwise. It's like one of those foods that I can't eat. I can eat anything else, but that
Bread?
type of thing.
Toasted bread on a sandwich is just better.
I remember that for a while I couldn't actually eat bread because I had difficulty controlling my jaw.
Wild.
Like my jaw kind of had a mind of its own. It would just continuously chew. I couldn't like stop it from chewing because like the texture of the bread.
That's interesting.
Yeah, like I would almost choke, pretty much trying to like force myself to swallow mid chew because of like the texture of the bread whenever it got wet. You know, what would happen?
Yeah.
You know, it kind of became like almost it kind of became, you know, kind of gummy, I guess you could say.
Right.
And my brain just couldn't quite process whenever that was done. You know, whenever that could actually be swallowed.
Wild.
Actually wild.
Like, very genuinely wild.
Right?
I can cook these. Nice.
Oh boy, I am maxed. Oh, start plus 50, 50. Dismantle the bolt, dismantle that. I can probably, I don't know. Do I have another bat?
Just while we're winding down here, I guess I'll ask this. What's y'all's favorite thing to put on a sandwich?
Pepper jack cheese.
Ooh.
And sea salt and
I-
vinegar chips.
I don't have a lot of
Salami,
stuff.
salami, lettuce, and tomato.
Simple math.
Necro, you need to make me one of your sandwiches whenever I get there because I suck at eating sandwiches. Because,
I've got my own little mix that I've made. It's kind of like what they have at In-N-Out Burger. It's ketchup, mayonnaise, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, and a bit of pickle juice. And because it's got and because it's got and it's because it's got the vinegar from the ketchup and the pickle juice, it basically doesn't spoil.
That's peculiar.
I just, whenever I make my sandwiches, I put mustard, pepper jack cheese, and Cape Cod sea salt and vinegar chips on it. It's crunchy. I don't usually toast the bread though, because I don't feel like it.
You're gonna make me want to go and make a sandwich.
I greatly dislike lunch meats in general, so I never put them on my sandwiches.
That's fine. I just like meat.
Necro,
I've
you don't
always,
have
like,
habits.
I never make a sandwich the same way twice. However, there is a sandwich that I tried while I was up here, and it's like insanely good. So like, have y'all ever heard of Shake Shack?
No.
You've mentioned it before. I've never heard of it except for when you've mentioned it.
Okay, so Shake Shack is this burger restaurant, and it's like they specialize in 3 things: burgers, milkshakes, alcohol. Those are the 3 things they have, and they have chicken sandwiches now. But anyway,
Guys. Fuck it. Do I make a sandwich?
Go ahead.
after we end the podcast, because I need to get through the story. So, last semester, there was a Shake Shack right near the building where all of our classes are in a given day. Like, we don't leave that building. All of our classes are just in that building. And so, we were going to go get lunch because we had like an hour before this one class. And we go to Shake Shack. And I go in there, and I see that they have on the menu a black truffle burger. Now, if you don't know what black truffle is, it's expensive as fuck, first of all. But it's really good.
Oh shit!
It's got this like humongous savory flavor. And but anyway, it was this burger. And I think it was a burger, some kind of cheese. I don't remember what kind of cheese. And then it was like this black truffle like sauce, and then it was like crispy onions. And that was like the perfect burger. And then they had these like bacon cheese fries there that were also good, but there was like they gave you the truffle sauce to like dip your fries in, and that was very good as well.
Ooh.
It isn't my favorite sandwich ever, but it is my favorite thing I've eaten at Shake Shack for sure. Well, there's also this deli I go to. We're just talking about sandwiches now. There's this deli I go to down the street whenever I like need a sandwich before class. And they have this sandwich, it's called the One of a Kind. And boy, howdy fucking is it. So, follow me here. The sandwich is black pepper turkey breast, peppercorn mayo, bacon, ranch, lettuce, tomato, avocado.
Actually, I have. Okay, sorry to interrupt you.
Those are
Dalton.
flavors. Those are flavors that you would not expect to go together. But honestly, it's a very good sandwich.
Okay, Dalton, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I figured
you're
this
not.
out. Okay, I figured this out when I moved like from the country to the city. Y'all don't taste the differences between country meat and city meat.
You are going to have to elaborate very quickly.
Okay. Y'all don't taste the differences between meat that's not fresh, like just came out. Like just got killed and just got cooked enough where you can eat it, right? Some reason y'all
Yeah.
don't taste the differences between that fresh and been in the freezer.
No, I'm sure there's a difference in how it
Well,
tastes. We just
but
don't have
no.
access to that fresh.
No, that's mostly because I've never had meat that way.
That's fair. Okay, Dalton. No, that means I'd have to bring an animal up there and kill it in front of you.
Ooh, I could help with that.
That would be traumatic.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm kidding. Jed, you.
I mean, I would just put a pig in a dog pen and bring it up there. We got some fresh bacon.
Yeah.
Fresh bacon.
Fresh
would be
bacon
nice.
would be really nice. Like really fresh bacon.
But no,
God,
I couldn't.
No.
So here's the reason I can't eat like lunch meats is because they taste like they are. They taste weird to me. Like they taste like stale.
What?
I don't know how to explain it.
I would say that's the preservative.
Okay, it probably
But having
is.
said that, I want to say this. So it's like, when it comes to like things like that, I do really wish that I was allowed to have like a grill up here, because we have an outdoor patio like near the kitchen. And I wish that I could just set up like a little grill. Like if I could just like buy a tiny grill off of Amazon and just set it up out there and cook steaks. Because I've cooked steaks a lot since I've been up here. But there is nothing, and I mean fucking nothing, that compares to a steak coming off of a grill. I've tried other options. There is nothing better.
I'm ready to end stream.
I am also ready if you want me to
Yeah,
do the
go
outro.
ahead.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the not the Distractible
Great job,
Podcast.
Dub.
The Distractible
No.
Podcast.
This is Toads
Okay.
Mixed Strokes, the Distractible Podcast. Don't believe the lies.
Oh no. Okay, let me try that again. Take 2. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of
Oh.
the Agony of Moon
Oh, wait.
podcast.
Wait,
God.
can I mention something real quick that I just now remembered as a weird story?
No, we're ending.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, wait till after the intro. We'll tell it on it. We'll tell it next week if
Yeah.
it's good enough.
All
So, okay, take 3. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Agony podcast. If you would like, feel free to join our Discord server, which I'm sure somebody's going to be linking in the chat now that I've
Oh yeah,
mentioned
let
it.
me do that.
Let
me get it. I'll get it eventually.
Thank you guys for watching.
I'm sorry.
Follow us on all of our respective social medias. Subscribe to the podcast if you feel generous. Subscribe. I don't think they can
No,
do that
people
yet, but
already got the
regardless.
Discord.
Exclamation point Discord is literally right there.
Okay, look in the chat for the Discord link. Thank you guys so much. Follow Moon on Moonlit Dawn with an extra N at the end. On Twitch, follow Necro. His channel is spelled NECR0LIX. Follow me at Clashing Swords Productions on both YouTube and Twitch. And Trace and I are kind of lumped in together on that one. Plushie doesn't have social media, so fuck Plushie in particular.
Yep.
Don't set the world on fire. Or not don't set the world on fire. Don't cause too much agony. Fuck, why am I forgetting the outro? Don't cause too much agony. That's our job. Watch the world burn and we'll be the ones there to light the flame. Fuck you, Florida.
Oh yeah, sounds about right.